Okay, next is how can we get inside the airbox and give that a bit of a clean, because I've just wiped a little bit of the surface in there and it's getting pretty dusty and crappy in there. Never been cleaned before. So there are some screws around the outside to get the top half off, but there is one that's right down in here between the frame and the airbox, which is, you can't get a screwdriver to it. You've got to try and get in behind here, and you have about 2 fingers between the box and where the frame is to get that screw out. So you need some very small screwdrivers or fittings to get those out. And right down the bottom, in the front of the airbox, down the bottom, there is a drain hose that allows any liquid and that to run out. So I'm just going to take all of these out, and then I'm going to work out how to get that front one out. So there's one there, there's one there, there's another one over here, there's one in behind the tube here, behind your fuel tank, fuel hose here, and then it's the same down the side, and then there's the one that's just right down in here. So I'll take all those out. So this one here is a bit tricky because you've got the frame up here in the way, so I'm just going to use a little ratchet tool. So this is the screw that I'm talking about. You need to get some good light in here as well. I'll see if I can zoom in. So that's it there. It's right under the frame. So just tried this one, but this is a little bit too long. It hits the frame, your steering head. That fits in alright. So now I'm going to try this one, which is a little bit shorter, but it also comes at a little bit of an angle as well. So it should bring it down below, hopefully. So it's a little bit easier from this side of the bike when you're right-handed. So I've got it started and I've done about 1 turn. However, the problem I can see is as the screw's coming out and this is lifting up, this is going to hit the frame before I get the screw out. I'll have to get it loose enough that you can get your fingers in there and try and undo the screw with your fingers. So I'm just trying to hold it with a bit of pressure down with the screwdriver to get enough drive on the screw. So this is either going to be a big waste of time and a big struggle to get it back in, or I'm going to end up making a special tool to do it. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's about 5mm up now. Right, I had the screw up about 1/4 inch, 5mm, so I'm just going to try and get it with this now. Just a little practice getting the setting for the head. Just grab the head of the screw, because I've run out of room for the tool. Little screwdriver part to get in. I should hopefully be able to get it with this. You can reach in and get it with your fingers, but still not quite loose enough. Okay, so I've got that one out. Only it won't come off because there's actually another screw here and on the other side. So we've got this one out. Can't even get the camera in there. So the one that's way over here we've got out with the long nose C-rips. and then this one here, and we need to get another one on the other side. Hopefully we can come down with something to get to that. Okay, so I've just taken the steering dampener off, which this bit here is bolted under here for your steering lock. There's a O-ring and a spacer that goes on this side here, goes on this side, the spacer. And then on the other bracket over here, you've got the bolt, and there's a little spacer that goes underneath there. Goes around that way, I think. Yeah. Off. Going to take the key ignition switch out, because what I've done, I've undone the clamps here at the throttle bodies and popped the airbox off what you'd probably call the inlet manifold. Same on this one. Just had to loosen them right off and then just sprayed a little bit of CRC in behind. And then they popped off, but I can't quite lift it high enough because the cable in the bottom of the switch is interfering here. Now this is not coming off the way it's supposed to. And there's the whole lock. I'm not supposed to come off these studs. So can we move the airbox enough to get to those other two screws? Because this bit of frame here is in the way. Right, so you can get to those three screws now, that you can move the box around a little bit more, but you need a screwdriver that's at least as long as this extension. This handle hits, doesn't quite get down there, and that is around 250 long. And these cables, your throttle cable gets in the way on that one. The rest of them you can see quite easily now, so let's see if that allows us to open this airbox up. Yeah. However, it's not much of an advantage really. So I'm just going to shine the light in there. So like I was saying before, there is a tube, and if you can see it with this one, there is a tube that comes out the bottom of the box, and it's this one here, and it's like a one-way valve, so it lets water in that come out, but when you get a little bit of vacuum on there it closes up. So I'm going to make sure I don't spray any over the fuel injectors. Alright, some light in here. So here's the fuel injectors. So I don't want to spray any down in the throttle body because it'll go straight into the motor. I'm just going to spray it around this bottom so that it washes all the dirt and crap that's sitting down in this corner here. I'm just going to do that with the degreaser. So as you can see, it's all dripping out. And now I'm just going to try and wipe that off. I'm not going to wash it out with water or anything. We'll just try and wipe it with a rag and a big pointy stick. So I've just wiped around in there, got a bit of the gunk out. It's looking pretty clean. As good as you're going to get it. It's a bit of a mission. So now I'm just putting the screws in the back here loosely, and then we'll work on the front ones. I think that'll be the best way, and then you've got more control with it, and then we're going to have to try and get it back onto the manifold. So I've just cut a screwdriver in half and then added a 200mm bit of stainless in there, so got a nice long screwdriver now. Yep, so that was a hell of a lot easier. You got to have it off the manifold parts so you can move the airbox around a little bit to get the screwdriver in. And that one is 280 long up to the handle there. So that's plenty long enough to get down into there. It's plenty long enough, at least 100mm. So maybe even one 200mm will be long enough.